All right, you guys, we are on Unit 4, Day 2. So find that. This is exactly what we worked on in class a little bit yesterday. I just want to do a couple more examples to refresh your memory on what you're supposed to do. And then you will finish the worksheet, get it checked, and you'll be done for the day. So I'm just going to start with number 1. Just remember, every time you're given an ordered pair, it's always given as x comma y. So what I'm going to do with the x value is plug it in here. And what I'm going to do with the y value is plug it in here. And I'm asking myself, does this equal 1 when I plug in all of those numbers? So I'm going to plug in the 1 for the x, minus 5. Does that equal, with a question mark, 1? And I'm putting that question mark there because it's a yes or no question. So again, I plugged in the 1 for the x. That's why I wrote 6 times 1. I plugged in the 5 for the y. That's why I wrote minus 5. And does it equal 1 is the question. So what I'm going to do here is 6 times 1 is 6 minus 5. That does, in fact, equal 1. So it works for that equation. But I also have to check this one. So I have to do both of them. I'm going to do this in a different color just so it doesn't get confused. I'm going to plug in the 1 here for the x and the 5 here for the y. So this is what that's going to look like. Negative 5 times x equals 1. Y equals 5. Does that equal question mark 5? So let's see. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Does that equal 5? Well, when you combine negative 5 plus 10, you do get 5. And it does equal 5. So since it works for both of them, it has to be yeses for both. The answer to this problem is yes. So that's what you're going to do for the other two. Remember that this is x, comma, y. And this is x, comma, y. But you're going to plug in the x for the x value, the y for the y, and it has to work for both of them. So if it doesn't work for one of them, you're done. The answer is no. Okay? Let's do a couple of these graphing ones. I was walking around, I noticed we were struggling just a little bit with some of the graphing ones. Let me do number 4 first because it's kind of a simple one. These equations are already in y equals mx plus b form, so I already know how to graph them. I will do this one in black, and I will do this one in blue so that you can see the difference between them. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to start, my black line is going to start on negative 4. And remember, you always start on the y-axis. So I'm going to put my first dot on negative 4. And the slope here is 2. And again, remember, you can make that into a fraction if you want to by putting it 2 over 1. That just means go up 2, 1, 2, over 1. Up 2, over 1. Up 2, over 1. You can also go down 2, left 1. So I'm going to put a couple of those dots there. Up 2, over 1. Up 2, over 1. Down 2, left 1. I will connect those. I'm going to do a couple more dots. What I was noticing in class was that maybe my suggestion would be to put more dots on your graph so that you can see exactly where the lines intersect. In the last chapter, I told you only needed 2 dots to be able to connect them and show me where the line goes. But in this chapter, it might be easier if you put more dots on the line so that you can tell where they intersect. So now I'm going to do the blue one. This one I'm going to start on positive 1. Remember, you always start on the y-axis. That's why this is called a y-intercept. So my first dot goes on positive 1. And let's see, that slope is negative 3. Don't lose that negative sign, but remember, you can make that into a fraction by putting it over 1. That means down 3, right 1. So I'm going to go down 3, right 1. Oh, wow, and it intersects right there. Down 3, right 1. You can put more dots if you need to, but we already know where it intersects. Looks like that. And so remember how to write your answer is this point right here is the intersection. That's where the 2 lines meet. And the answer is, what is that? 1 comma negative 2. That's the answer. Let me try number 6 because that one's a little bit harder. Why is it a little bit harder? In this problem, we already had y by itself for each of them. In this one, we're going to have to move some stuff around. We're trying to get y equals. So we have to move things around, okay? So I'm going to do this first. I need to get the y all by itself, so the first thing I'm going to do is bring the x over to this side. How do I do that? I subtract it. What I was noticing in class yesterday was that a lot of us weren't writing the x or weren't writing the minus sign. Write down everything that you're doing so that you don't have to think about, was that a negative? Was it -1? Was it negative x? Was it positive? These are not like terms. This is -1x, and this is a whole number 6. So I'm just going to write minus x positive 6. You just write both of these things, and I like to write the x first so that it's in y equals mx plus b. Just makes it a little bit less confusing, I think. Now I need to divide everything by 2 in order to get the y by itself. So I have y equals -x over 2 plus 6 over 2 is 3. And if you want to, you can put a 1 here with the x, because that might help you count for your slope. So there finally is my first line that I'm going to graph, and I'm going to graph it in black. That means that I'm going to start on +3 on the y-axis, which is right here. So that's my first dot. And the slope is down 1. That's why I put the 1 there, over 2. So down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. You can also go up 1, left 2. I might need to put some more dots there because I'm not sure where it's going to intersect with the other line. So I'm just going to keep putting dots so that it makes it easy for me to connect the line and figure out where the intersection point is once I put my blue line on this graph. Okay, blue. Let's tackle this second part. So I need to get y by itself. That means that I need to minus the 2x over to this side. I'm minusing it because it's plus. In order to move it over, you have to subtract it from both sides. That means I have y equals, and again, this is not like terms, so you have to just write +9 and -2x together. I'm going to write the -2x first, +9. Now that y is by itself, that is my blue equation, and that's telling me to start on 9. So I'm going to put my first dot on +9. And that slope is not a fraction, but I can make it into a fraction, and that means down 2 over 1. So I'm going to go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. I still can't tell where it connects with the other line, so I'm going to keep going. There it is. Now I've crossed the other line. And now I can tell what my intersection point is. So if you can't tell where they intersect, just keep putting dots on your line to make your line longer. And then you'll be able to tell. It's a little bit easier. This is my answer. What is that ordered pair? It looks like 4, 1. Remember, it's always the x value, the y value. I think that's all I want to do for right now, you guys. I will be walking around and helping you. Please keep trying the rest. Love you all. Ask questions.